Amazing. So we're going to come into our Yin practice today. We're starting in a meditation seat, making sure that we feel strong connection to whatever our foundation may be. I'm sitting on a blanket here. I'm going to prop my knees just a little bit. And from here, I want to have a nice long spine. So just for a moment, I might rock back and forth. Just noticing the movement in the sacrum in the lower back and exaggerating that slightly until I find almost the highest point of that wave backwards and forwards. And in that highest point, that can become the position for meditation. Let's bring the shoulders up to the ears. Tension, tension, and release. Let's do that 2 more times. And just for a moment, closing the eyes and allowing yourself to transition into 5 deep breaths at your own pace, seeing how deeply the thread of the breath can be drawn into the basin of the pelvis, right down into the belly. Actively embracing this softening of the belly. These 5 breaths signaling and arriving, a conscious arriving into this moment. And then you find your way to the end of the 5th breath. Take a moment just to scan through what is here now, to reflect upon this day, how it's been for you today, what kind of day it's been as we move towards the end of it. And that will be a engaging of the conscious mind. So we're giving permission, we're giving a space to the conscious mind to just show us what it's working on, the thinking mind, what it's processing. And almost an acknowledgement of, okay, well, what is here now in the mind? What are the offerings? What are the desires to explore, to fix, to understand? We just honor that space of it, honor all the work that our mind does for us. And then I'd love if you could explore asking the mind or letting the mind know that we're about to embark on just 60 minutes of yoga. 60 minutes of creating a pause, some space, a time of bringing the body and the mind into the same moment, that of the present tense. And almost just asking all those parts of you, the mind and all those active doing parts that exist within all of us, if they might just step back for the next moment, for the next hour or so, if they might just trust this space and allow somewhat of a quietness, of a stepping just a little bit back so that we may explore a presence of moment. Just finding an expression of that in your inner system, an expression of asking that question. The amazing thing about our bodies is that it holds all of the wisdom we may ever need. And so often, if we're unsure about something, we need to just ask. Attuning to that which is. And if there's a sense of even ever so slightly quietening, then just thanking the system for listening, for being willing to offer this space. And just giving yourself as a whole this permission for pause, knowing that nothing can be changed in this next hour or so. That everything that was there as we entered this space will be there on the other side of it. And just this permission for peaceful presence, awareness. And know that my intention is to support the physiology, the fluctuations of the body, the mind, towards a place of peace, of rest, of sweet awareness. That is the intention that I bring to each of you today. Hands can just come to prayer for a moment with a bowing of the head as we acknowledge the beginning of this practice. And then gently opening the eyes, we're going to come to a practice of bee breath. Okay, so coming to practice of bee breath. I'm going to demonstrate this for a moment because it's a little bit strange. It might feel, just a bit weird if you haven't done it before. Okay, so when we do the bee breath, first of all, just joining me with the sound of buzzing like a bee. Buzz. And now you want to imagine still making that same sound, but the mouth closes and instead it's coming to the back of the throat, and the sound then becomes more like a hung, like an HNG. So trying that sound for a moment. Hung. So that is the vibrational sound of the bee breath, and we're going to take 5 rounds of this breath, and at the same time we're going to gently plug the eyes or close the eyes and hold them closed with the fingers, and also plug the ears. And what we're doing is creating this pratyahara, this turning inwards of the senses to really help calm the mind. And it's almost like that sound of white noise that you might be familiar with, the sound of just this soft vibrational quality that helps to calm the thoughts in the mind. Okay, so I'm going to come up here so you can see me. We're going to do this together. All right, so everyone trusting me. The beauty of this is you don't even need to worry because no one can hear you. There's always slight anxiety that you're going to be the last person buzzing. Okay, so eyes can be gently plugged, gently closed with fingers. Ears are gently plugged closed. And now we're taking 5 breaths, 5 bee breaths, following the inhale. At the end of the final exhale, simply noticing with the eyes closed, the hands resting upon the thighs, any shifts in the quality of the inner space from this practice. No expectation, simply curiosity. And from here, the eyes can remain closed if you feel familiar with the practice. Otherwise, left hand, thumb to index finger, right hand, index and tall finger towards the palm, remaining fingers extend. Bring the right thumb, make sure it's the right because I'm not doing opposites, and plug the nostril. Right thumb to right nostril. Inhale through the left for 3, 2, 1. Plug, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, same side, 3, 2, 1. Plug, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, same side, 3, 2, 1. Plug, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, same side, 3, 2, 1. Plug, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Continuing with this flow, and know if the nostrils are blocked and don't allow the breath, you can simply imagine inhaling up, exhale through the opposite. Inhale, same side, exhale through the opposite. Keeping this practice for the next moments. Bringing balance to left and right of the mind, of the brain, of the energetic being. The left are feminine, the right are masculine. The active and the calming. The dynamic and the grounding. So that we may find some equanimity, some equilibrium between those energies. Each of us will be experiencing different balances of them, and we explore moving towards a middle space, a middle ground. And knowing that our intention here is one of calming, soothing the system, and so letting go too much of the mind and what it might be thinking, again asking or remembering that permission to just relax the mind. And through this breath, we explore relaxing the body. The counting of the breath, anchoring the attention, the breath itself, sending messages of safety, security to the nervous system understanding it's okay to be, to settle, to relax. And you find yourself breathing through the left nostril, and the next time, keep the right nostril plugged, and now simply breathe in and out of the left nostril. As you breathe in, allow the count to be for 3, And as you breathe out, see if you can bring the count to 6. If that feels too much, then maybe the count is to 5. But finding a longer exhalation through the left nostril, the left are feminine. And so there's this sense of really supporting the calming, the invitation of this feminine, grounded energy to the practice. Next exhalation through left nostril. Simply bring both hands to rest upon the thighs. And just bring the attention inwards, noticing how is it now? Bringing that curiosity, the first wing of freedom as it is taught. That of awareness. And the quality that resides behind awareness is one of curiosity. Letting go of expectation of how things might, could, or should be. And instead, opening our senses to what they actually are. How is it now? This is the way we find our way back home to the wisdom, the sweetness that resides within each of us in every moment if we just listen. Gently, softly opening the eyes and just watching as I demonstrate the first pose that we're going to go into. So it's more of a restorative pose. It's one of my favorite restorative poses. So for me, I have the bolster. So I'm going to take my bolster and I have a brick. So I'm also going to use that brick. Okay. So seeing what props you have here, I'll show you with the cushions afterwards. But if you've got the bolster, you're going to create a support like so. You might have your blanket handy so you can really be cozy in the pose. And I'm going to bring my right hip up to the short end of the bolster. Okay, and you can see how my legs are like these fallen triangle shapes. And from here, lifting myself up, I'm going to roll myself down. And what's quite important here is, can you find the place where the belly comes onto the bolster or your cushions? Okay, and then lowering down, down, down. And from here, the head can gaze towards the knees. I have headphones in. Oh, let's see if that works. So it might be the head is facing towards the knees. If you feel that you can find the extension with ease in the back, you can turn the head away from the knees and come down. And then just looking for a moment at the position of my hands, seeing how there's just no effort in them. My palms are actually just facing up towards the sky. I'm fully supported. This is such a yummy pose. And so that's the technical yoga cue I'm going to offer you. Find the yummy place. Okay. And I think it's important because in some poses, especially in yin poses, we can be finding an edge, whereas in a restorative pose, we really want to feel supported. So we want that ease, we want that comfort and that sense of, you know that feeling? That feeling. Seek that, my yogi friends. Okay, so getting yourself settled. If you don't have a bolster, Then imagining that as some books, for example. The challenge with pillows is making them long enough. So you have to get a bit more creative. You want to have the same sort of inversion. You want to feel supported, and you want the head to be supported. Okay, so finding that with what you've got. Maybe you have a longer cushion or pillow or a sofa one. Find a moment. We're going to be here for a little while. And for those that are listening to music, I know that some of you had an issue getting to the music. It is a public playlist. You might want to now press play on that. If you can see another Soulshine online Yin, then you can press play on that one as well, as long as they both will work, the ones that are up there. I'm going to have this just in the background for me. Okay. And I'm going to come close and see if I can see any of you as you're practicing to offer any cues. Nice. Looks like relaxation is occurring. Okay, so for anyone who's unsure, let me just show you that pose again so you can see where you're going to. I'll show it with the bolster. So hip to the short side and then come to face towards it. So you want to twist your body a little. I can see some of you finding your way there, and then lower down. Okay, so my knees currently are going over one way and my head can face towards the knees. And a little bit of a twist. All right. And once in this place, I'm going to be here for nearly 5 minutes. So let's find a breath that's going to support us. Let's find an extended exhalation. So the exhalation has real power in our nervous system. When the exhalation is lengthened, I almost think of it as like if you shake up a Coke bottle all day, and then that exhalation is like the that releasing of all that energy, you might call that the stress hormones. And we can bring that, maybe not the Coke bottle visualization, but the visualization into this exhalation, this sense of release. This sense with every long exhalation of letting go, of surrendering. And so noticing what the count of your inhalation is. And then the exhalation is simply going to become longer. So if your inhale is 3, traditionally we want to bring the exhale up to double the count. So it might be to 6, but without forcing. So find what is available for you. And we have this sense of, even though we can't hear one another, this collective exhale, this collective sense of release that comes when energetically we practice together. There's a safe containment that extends like a web between each of us, even in this way. So we can all have this sense of letting go. We have a real sense in a restorative practice and pose of this quality of yin. The yin is the feminine, the yang, the masculine. And the yang has this more energized, evolving, active quality. You might consider your vinyasa flow or your ashtanga practice or any of the other more dynamic practices you do as having this quality of yang energy, masculine energy. And the yin is the feminine energy of the moon. Powerful, but in a quieter, more grounded way. And as I was contemplating what to bring to our session today, I was thinking about all the different experiences I've had from this lockdown, the different stages, the different phases, and something that came up in our support circle in the last week and also with my loved ones was, and myself, was a sense of almost the fatigue of all the things we're trying to do with this incredible opportunity of staying home. And that may not be true for everyone, because I know that many people are juggling many things at this time. And that my sister said to me the other day that she sort of had this sense of not doing enough with this time. And I know that, when this first became a reality, I had a sense of, great, I'm going to do those 35 online courses that I bought, and I'm going to learn the harmonium, and I'm going to work out every day, and I'm going to do yin as well, and I'm going, and. It's exhausting. I don't know if that resonates for anyone else at all. And so for today's practice, the quality is really of doing things with no intention, need, or desire to change ourselves. Gently rising ever so slowly, very, very slowly, lifting yourself, rising up. And once you've risen up, the joy here is that you simply, without thinking too much, switch sides. You can see my knees, just take me over to the opposite side. Hip against bolster, lower down, and find your way into the pose. So moving very slowly, very mindfully, offering yourself the same attention to come to the place of ease and support, and then settling back in. So your knees will be facing the opposite direction, the head will be facing the opposite direction, The arms can surrender once again. And settling in, settling down. And I don't know if it resonates for any of you, this idea that whenever we're doing something, there's some expectation of an outcome. I remember reading in one of Brené Brown's books years ago about the importance of play, of just doing things just because. Just because, not because we want to improve or learn a new skill or be in some way different. And it's important we have this quality of evolution in our life. It's important we have this yang energy that helps us achieve and create and manifest. But as with all things in life, there's such importance in balancing that and having the times where we can be in a place of unconditional acceptance. Because if we're continually striving, if we're continually improving, growing, then we're also sending this message in some way that we're not enough as we are. A quality of unworthiness. And actually Brené Brown also talks about that as one of the shields to vulnerability. One of the ways in which we protect ourselves from feeling vulnerable is this continual perfectionism, this continual moving forward state of doing. And yet when we emerge from that place, by the time we've reached those goals we've set, we've already dismissed them because we've set the next goals. And so today's practice is one of just being in this yin of mother love, the mother love that says you're enough just as you are. There's nothing you need to do right now. Being held in ease and comfort is enough. And you're so deserving of it. Each of us are so deserving of that space, of just being. Taking 3 breaths, and with the breath, as you exhale, have a sense of just imagining what that experience might be, of just saying, this is enough. There's nothing else I need to be doing. There's nothing I need to be achieving, learning, growing. This, just for this moment, is enough. Gently, ever so gently, beginning to rise from the pose. moving so slowly, remembering this quality of just being, of not rushing from one place to the next. And as you come out of the pose, slowly finding your way into a seated position, and then taking the soles of the feet together. So for me, in this pose, for my hips, I find it helpful to sit up on something. So you'll see I'm sitting on a blanket here, a rolled blanket. And that's useful for my body. Most bodies will find a block or a blanket helpful. And it might be that you also prop your knees, okay? Especially if you're keeping any knees injuries safe. You can find the position for the feet, exploring where feels good for you with the stretch. You have for two slightly different stretches. And then when you feel in a strong foundation, you can start to fold forwards. Okay, so folding forwards, and keep it active for a moment. So when I say keep it active, there's a sense of extending through the heart and moving forward. So as you come into the forward bend, there's a sense of also moving forwards, extending through the chest. Now find your edge, find as far as you can go in this pose. And now come slightly away from that. And now release. Release the back, so the back can begin to curl. And the head, just notice you can let the neck hang somewhat, and you can shake and nod the head to check that feels safe in the neck before releasing. Notice what the hands are doing, making sure they're not reaching. You can bring them to cradle, one palm open to hold the other in the feet like a nest, or maybe their palms facing up to the sky with the elbows bent, so we let go of this reaching and come towards more yin. That might be enough for you. It might be that you bring yourself onto a prop of some sort to support the head, especially if you're keeping the neck safe. Might also be the bolster. And if you don't have the props, but you're keeping the spine or neck safe, just keep the chest slightly lifted. And know that keeping the chest slightly lifted and active will support the neck. Okay? You can always calm a little bit out. You never want to feel pain in the knees, ever. There's never a reason for pain in the knees. And similarly, there's never a reason for pain in the body in these poses. So come out of the pose if there's pain. Otherwise, the eyes can close, settling in. And the first action you might say is this sense of pausing and softening. So a pause in doing in the body, and then a conscious softening. See if you can just imagine what a softening of 10% might look like or feel like in your body. And then from that place of softening, is there the possibility of connecting into the experience to that which is here now. Remember that you can keep asking the mind if it might be willing to let you just stay in present with experience. Sort of pushing away at the mind, rather. It's a welcoming it, observing it, thinking, there's my mind, there are my thoughts. And in the acknowledging, allowing it to be there, but bringing your attention to the body, to the breath, into connection with experience. These poses that I find really helpful to transition towards sleep, either in the evening and finishing work, or actually in bed, to help really support the nervous system towards rest. And such a sense of surrender, even in the physicality of the pose, the forward bend. You rise, ever so slowly rise. Really slow it right down. Come out of yin. We need to move with steady slowness to keep the body safe. As if in slow motion. The hands can reach to the outside of the knees, drawing them together, hugging to the body. Give yourself a hug. Now gently extending the toes out once again and bringing the legs into a wide V towards a dragonfly. This is one of my favourite poses. So you always practice it a lot with me if you practice with me. So again, I'm perched up to allow for this forward folding in the pelvis. Know that if there's a lot of resistance in the body, or if you're keeping your lower back safe, notice how I'm taking bricks under my knees. It doesn't have to be bricks, you can put blankets or something soft just to support this bending of the knees whilst also being elevated. Okay, so find your foundation, and now let's just check in with the space that's here. So swaying from side to side, lubricating the spine and finding this sense of dance in the body. The eyes can be closed as we release any idea of what is right and wrong and instead explore what we feel. And find your way to center. Hands come to the earth. Find your edge, come to your edge. And now come slightly away from it. So the edge, remember that's the place of effort. To the edge when you're efforting, come away from that. Now check with the low back. Remember, no pain in the low back. And if there's any injury in the low back, keep this a very subtle forward bend. Otherwise, releasing the spine, checking in with that. Then releasing the neck, checking in with that. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. And surrender. The feet are still upright, but they don't need to be super active. And again, you can prop yourself. So I was taught traditionally in Yin to not necessarily use props, but I really value the props as a means of creating support and a sense of safety and nurturing the pose. Brings a slightly different quality, moving it more towards a restorative. And again, these qualities of pausing and soften, connecting. And then we can bring some further layers of allowing just as we noticed, thinking. Allow what is here to be here, but we allow it by first being aware of it. First, we have to notice what is here, awareness, and then we can allow it to be here. Again, noticing if there's another percent, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 5% of surrender that can be brought into the pose. We don't need to be getting anywhere here. If we shift away from the idea of achieving something in the pose and instead considering the pose as a vehicle, befriending and listening to our body, to our being, a vehicle for attuning with curiosity to experience, letting go of right and wrong, instead, what is here now? How may I tend to what is here now, the experience that is here now? Nowhere to be, nothing to do. Gently rise, ever so slowly rise, ever so slowly. And from here, bring your right arm out before you. And then as if dancing, sweep the right arm out before you and to the inside, if available, of your right calf. Otherwise, maybe it's onto the right shin. And from there, extend up through the left fingertips to the sky, find space all the way through the side bodies, and now extend up and over. You might bring the hand into a V onto the back of the skull, and as you do so, there's a gentle rotating of the heart towards the sky. Just for a moment, deeply aware of the lungs, the side body, and use the breath to open into this pose. And then rising up, the left arm creates the same sweeping action, maybe to the inside, maybe to the shin, right arm to the sky, and then extend it over. Noticing more tightness perhaps on one side than the other. I know that for me this side is tighter, much tighter. And so I can really consciously bring my attention to these areas of tension and offer them this gift of breath, of space, of attention. And imagine the dissolving of resistance, the unsticking of the fabrics of our being. Gently rise. Take the knees, draw them up and into the body. And give yourself a hug. A momentary twist just to keep our body safe after all the forward bends, extending the right leg straight, left foot crosses over. So a nice simple twist here. Left hand comes back behind you, right arm lifts up and hooks to the outside edge. Now grow tall and twist, gazing back towards the left shoulder. So we do a lot of forward bends. Know that 2 actions you can take to really support the spine are twists and also activating your core. So in another world, in another class, that might be plank poses. Not today, not for us, my friends. Gently unravel, counter twist it, sit back, Moulin Rouge it, switch it over. Okay, sometimes it's best just not to think too much about the poses and your body will naturally know where to go. Right hand behind, left hand to the sky. Hook it to the outside, ground down, grow tall, and twist. And make a lot of sounds when I practice yoga. So I'll bring the sound effects for us today. Gently coming to face forward, counter twist. And I'm going to offer for our final pose a couple of options, which is going to really depend on where you are in your space. Okay, so in an ideal world, we would be coming into a pose known as Viparita Karani, also known as legs up wall. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this might work using my sofa, the end here, because that also might be an option for you if you've got your bed, if it's not too high your bed, or you're by your sofa. So let's see how this goes, me demoing. So if you've got the sofa, you might just bring your hip up to the side and then appreciate I'm merging in to the sofa. I need to wear different colors. Then you might just lie yourself down on the floor. Okay, so from here, my arms can just come and rest out like so. Moving any props you have out of the way. And this is really restorative for the body because already I'm getting an inversion. You might even take a blanket and bring that under your sacrum. Okay, so this is me at the sofa. You can try that if you've got a sofa handy. If you've got a wall, you're going to do the same and just have your legs up against the wall. What I'm going to say is don't come all the way up to the wall so your bum's there because that becomes a very active hamstring stretch. Come a little bit away from the wall so your legs are just resting. So instead they're just resting up there and you have this shifting of prana and energy as we reverse the direction of things. Okay, so that's the option if you have wall or sofa. Otherwise, if you don't have that, we're going to take a supported bridge pose. So I'm using a brick here. If you don't have a brick, you might have a cushion or a book. And just to show how this pose goes, feet under the knees, or rather ankles under the knees. And you can see I've just placed the brick under the sacrum, which is the flat bit at the base of the back, the top of the buttocks. We don't want it on the high levels. We're doing a very specific restorative one, so keep it low. We just want a gentle incline, and again, the arms can come out. These are all restorative poses, so you want to find that quality of them for you based on the space, the props, what you have available to you. So finding your way, I'm going to come have a look and see if I need to offer any cues for what I can see. I can see legs up walls, happy feet, awesome. And on the sofa, great. So you want to feel a sense of ease, a sense of support as we come towards the end of this practice. Take three deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Slowly begin to move toes and fingers, to move the knees in towards the body, whether they're on the bridge pose or legs up to the wall. Supporting yourself however necessary to roll to your right side and pause curled in a ball, holding yourself in security and safety. Before gently rising into your meditative seat. The hands can come to rest anywhere they feel drawn to. Final reflection on how this might look in your life as you know at this moment, in this time of walking the space of evolution, of creation, of doing, and yet balancing it with the times, the moments when we accept ourselves fully as we are, when we allow ourselves the peace of simply being, this yin quality, this mothering quality of unconditional love. As you are, says the universe. After you answer. As you are, says the universe. Before you answer. As you are, says the universe. When you answer. As you are, says the universe. How you answer. As you are, says the universe. Why you answer. Because you are happening now, right this moment, and your happening is beautiful. The thing that both keeps me alive and brings me to my knees. You don't even know how breathtaking you are. As you are, says the universe. Hands in prayer. And join me for the sound of an Om and 3 Shantis to close this practice. In the inhalation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace for all beings. Hands in prayer to third eye. Awakening of the mind to the heart. Sweet healing of the heart to the earth. The wisdom of the practices, the wisdom of our teachers, and wisdom of this earth. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining. Such an amazing delight to connect with you all. And I hope to see you again this week and in the future for classes. I'm going to come up close now.